Good morning, folks. I made a little more progress this morning in between doing some other stuff that I needed to do, and I managed to get foam onto the entire second table and match up the continuity with it all the way out to that center section that I call Marianne Junction. So you can see I have quite a bit done here, and if you remember me saying earlier in another video, save those extra pieces because they came in handy. I wasn't kidding. A whole bunch of those pieces can be used as shims in a few places I may need them, and they will fill in nicely in here and through my riverbed area. Eventually they will get glued down, and then the stuff that I'll use for doing the I'll say plaster cloth. It's not really going to be plaster cloth. Somebody actually suggested an alternative to me last night that I'm going to look at, but I managed to get a bunch of pieces in there, and I'm going to use that to form the foundation of the bed area for the future scenery. And I wanted to address one other thing that somebody had mentioned to me, concern about using particle board for a top, which I do know the concerns of it getting damp and possibly expanding. I wouldn't keep this in anything other than a dry area. And we do have a dehumidifier in this room to make sure that it doesn't get too damp down here. And as for the rest of it, as I'm doing the plaster cloth, it's going to be a matter of being careful, of course. But my dad used Homosote when he did his layout, which is another thing. You got to be careful of moisture, and that railroad has been up for 35 years now. And between that and the paper mache that he had to use and other stuff, it is something you have to be concerned with. You do have to plan accordingly, but it can work properly. And as I said, I did it once before that way, and I didn't have any issues. I think the key to that is making sure that you have a room that stays relatively humidity low. That's probably one of the most important things. And then the rest of it is you have to just really be careful what you're doing. As far as working with things like plaster and stuff, you can't over soak everything. That's actually where I think most of the damage can be caused from. I suppose you could say, well, what if your basement floods? Well, if my basement floods, this thing would probably be screwed regardless of whether it's made of this or Plitanium or anything else. So anyway, all that is left to do now, and I say all that's left to do, and it's actually more intensive, I have to do my whole yard area and the turnabout at the end. So quite a bit of work there, but I do still have the first sheet that I was working with, the first section of the sheet I was working with, and then a whole second section that's 8 foot long and about 2 foot wide. So I think that'll give me enough. If it doesn't give me quite enough, for the last couple of pieces, I can always substitute in some other form of 2-inch foam. But I think this should give me most of what I need to finish it off. So again, just wanted to share my update, and I will also include a link to my site. I'm going to have some additional pictures up there as things progress, and just brief notes and mentions about things I encountered while doing this, and hopefully that will give someone else ideas on what they can do. And of course, it welcomes feedback and discussion, because hey, anything that I can learn or anything that anyone else can learn, that's always a good thing. That's kind of the point of the hobby, is to share your ideas. Anyway, that's it for now. Just wanted to show you guys where I'm at. Talk to you soon.